Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Turin here, and today, guys, I'm here with another Total War Warhammer live battlecast. In this game, I'm going to play the Dawi against Bretonnia. So I know a lot of you guys have been asking, like, how do you beat the Bretonnian foot squire spam with the Dawi? So I'm going to try my best. Hopefully it works out. Again, I might just get crushed, but let's hope for the best, guys. So I think one of the first staples is obviously Longbeards with great weapons, and I believe foot squires actually do beat them, which is pretty interesting considering Longbeards are, relatively sturdy troops. But still, they're very, very essential to this build. And when you put Hiking Thorgrim with that great book of grudges in the front line, it can kind of turn the tide a little bit. So I definitely am a fan of that. On top of that, we're going to get a Goblobber, and we're going to get, let me go ahead and take a look. So it is an open field, relatively speaking. We're also going to get a cannon to help deal with cav. So it's going to be a very, very artillery-focused build, very, very kind of defensive. And of course, we do need Runesmith. So we're going to get one with the full kit. The Master Rune of Grungni, I don't know if we need that. Because, again, Bretonnia doesn't have, like, a ton of heavy armor-piercing missiles. So I think just, like, the baseline armor of most of these Longbeards should be good. But, yeah, I think we're fine there. We're also going to get 2 standard Runesmiths. We're going to go ahead and strip these ones down. Because we need to go a little bit wider. Because Bretonnia is going to be a pretty big army. So, on top of that, let's go ahead and see. So we have the cannons. I could get, like, a group of Thunders, like, fire at their lords. And having that AP, I think, would be pretty useful against, like, foot squires, even, in a very long battle. So we're probably going to go a little bit wide. We could get some Slayers, and then maybe we get some Slayers, and then 2 groups of Miners. Do we want to get, we'll just get standard Miners because they're so darn cheap. And yeah, I'm actually tempted to kind of go, again, even wider. So do we want to get some Warriors of Dragonfire Pass? Because Battle Pilgrims and whatnot, and other Bretonnian infantry aren't going to be that great against the Dawi, even against Miners, because they have 80 armor. So Battle Pilgrims will, essentially struggle there. They might actually win against Miners in a straight-up fight, but against Longbeards with great weapons, you're going to be completely fine. So I'm tempted to get the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. I really, really like those guys. They're just such a cool unit. I could get Althar's Raiders, but I don't want to get like too many ranged units. I already have so much to protect back here with the Goblobber and all these goodies that I think I need to, again, like I mentioned before, go a bit wider. So I could get some Dwarf Warriors. I could get the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. I think honestly some more Miners might be okay. I mean, they'll trade okay with Foot Squires, I suppose, but yeah, man, I feel like I want something a little bit more elite. Just theory crafting a little bit here, guys, so bear with me. And let's go ahead and get these guys. What do they have? Charge defense against large foes, and of course Miners don't, but they do have that anti-infantry bonus, which is pretty nice as well. But you know what? I think we want to get some AP. So let's actually get some Miners with blasting charges and see how that works out. So we're going very, very wide, but hopefully we can keep it somewhat high and tight so that Hiking Thorgrim can raise their melee attack from 18 to 30, which is actually pretty formidable. So yeah, let's give it a try and see what happens, guys. It's going to be a fun one. So hopefully the cannon can shut down, Pegasus Knights or Questing Knights, obviously. I mean, if he's bringing a very meta army against the Dwarfs, it's going to be Foot Squires and Questing Knights. That's it. Like, that's just, like, on paper a hard counter because you have heavy armor piercing on your cav and mobility, which on paper is very, very tough for the Dwarfs to deal with. And then on top of that, you also have some of the most elite armor piercing infantry in the game. As much as it pains me to say that about Bretonnian Foot Squires, they're still really good, even though they got their leadership nerfed. So yeah, and didn't they also get their charge bonus nerfed? Or I can't remember. There was something else that they changed. I can't recall, but still a very, very good unit because they do have a natural anti-infantry bonus, and that's kind of what sets them apart from like Longbeards with great weapons in a straight duelist situation. Is that they have like relatively similar like weapon strength, but they get a +8 versus infantry, so they're going to get a big advantage there. But I do have the Vigor Aura from the Grumbling Guard. I also have Hiking Thorgrim's buff, so I'm hoping they can kind of like help sustain my front line. But a lot of it is going to come down to, really effectively protecting my cannons. And hopefully my Miners and whatnot can, like, make my opponent a little bit. A lot of people, like, look at Miners and they see, like, them kind of protecting the back line. And they're like, oh, I don't want to engage into that Dwarf line. Whereas sometimes it's better to just run over the Miners with, like, Questing Knights. So hopefully it's not too laggy. Let's hope for the best. And but this is a pretty good map for the Dawi. It's open field. There's not too many trees. So what I'll end up doing is probably like deploying like right here because it's a nice open field. He might like come like up and through here and like hide in the trees, which would be pretty prudent with like cav. But I think there's plenty of open space to really take advantage of his troops. And so another thing you could do is maybe like go for the high ground over here. But I really don't like moving too much with the dwarves, especially if you bring 2 artillery pieces. It's just like it's so tricky to like kind of get in position here. So, okay, my opponent's loading in. My apologies for the long delay. It is the nature of the live battlecast, but I really want to show you guys this Dwarf vs Bretonnia game. So hopefully it's not too much of a potato game as we like to call them. So let's go ahead and move around here and see. Yeah, so it's not too laggy. His connection seems fine. So in the front line, the Grumbling Guard and the Great Weapons are going to be here to intercept those. And let's go ahead and let's have these guys be in the front. We're going to go relatively wide. You basically just want density if you don't want like cav to charge through you, but most people aren't going to charge cav into the front line. So Hiking Thorgrim's going to go right here, and let's find our kitted out one. We want him in the front line as well, and we want maybe another Runesmith here. So we can put this guy right here. We can put this guy right here, which should be enough to like win the front line battle, I'm hoping. We're also going to get the cannon. So the cannon's going to be right here, and then this guy can be right here as well. So let's see, how are we going to do on angles here? I could like deploy like right here. This actually isn't a bad position. I just hate fighting in freaking trees. It's just like one of my biggest pet peeves. And here we're on a little bit of a downhill slope, which is unfortunate, but here we have a bad slope as well. So I think it's just the nature of our deployment over here. And I'd rather force them into open field so my artillery pieces and other guys can really, thrive. So we're going to put one runesmith back here. We're going to put some slayers in the back as well to kind of help out because, they're one of the few answers we have to his mobility. We're going to put some thunders kind of high and tight in the middle here. And he might just land on them with like a King Lewin or something, but that's okay. I'm not gonna cry about it, guys. We're gonna go ahead and get these miners kind of in the back as well, kind of getting ready to help out with the questing knights, which isn't gonna be fun for them, but guys, it's gotta happen. So we're gonna put the blasting charges right here and right here to hopefully be able to like throw it as foot squires as they come in. And let's go ahead and just kind of queue these up. We'll put these guys in group 2. And yeah, let's put maybe the Thunders in group 3. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Cool. So we're in position here. He's a little bit out of range. So we might need to advance just a little bit. I'm not sure if we want to, but yeah, let's go ahead and move the Godblobber forward a little bit. Oh, he actually brought men-at-arms, so a bit of a different army, but he has some fodder kind of like mucking up the line there, which is totally fine. Like I like that strategy. So we're gonna go ahead and get everyone in group 1 here, and then let's go ahead and move forward. That totally screws that up. So okay, so this thing should be shooting relatively soon. Our cannon is gonna be in range here in just a moment because again, it looks like my opponent is advancing. So it looks like he might just have like more of a Death Star style build, which is pretty interesting. So we're gonna move these Thunders kind of over here to get out of the way, and hopefully our cannon doesn't like hit any of our own dwarves in the front line. That's always like something that's very, very annoying when that happens. So he's coming into range here, so we're going to just start shooting at some of these battle pilgrims. So a bit of an interesting pick for my opponent, kind of switching it up a little bit. You don't really see like field trebuchets and things like that terribly often, so I could advance on him. That's actually might be something I want to do. So is he just going to sit? No, it looks like he is coming at me. So okay, so we want to get the Godblobber. The foot squires are like the most important thing, like hands down to take out. So we're just going to start focusing them with all of our artillery pieces. We're going to also get these guys kind of, yeah, we can probably just sit. Yeah, let's get them like over here in front of this this artillery piece. You don't want them too close to the front of the cannon because again, they can take some damage. So there's the questing knights. There's the meta pick that I was looking for. So what we want to do right now is switch the cannon. It's pretty far out of range. So we're just going to kind of hang tight and keep working down these battle pilgrims. And their leadership is quite a bit lower. Although I'm sure he does have like a Grail Reliquary in there or something. So he has a Damsel with the Lore of Life. And let's see, what else does he have? Yeah, that's pretty much it. And King Lewin, so, pretty standard, I guess. I would just assume it would be a foot squire spam, but he's definitely changing up the recipe a little bit, which, hey, it's not a bad idea. So he's getting some shots in with that field trebuchet, but field trebuchets are pretty poor quality. They're not going to, be able to get in there and do too much work against me, so... But yeah, I guess they're still hitting these guys. I've only lost like 3 models since the fighting started, and my Godblobber is traded really, really efficiently here. So the questing knights, those things need to go down. I need to start shooting at those, and hopefully I can efficiently crossfire. So we're going to form a little bit of a wall over here and get ready to party. We'll move the Slayers in position, and it looks like he's using Lore of Life, which is, it's pretty decent. So we're going to keep shooting here. The cannon should start shooting over here at these questing knights, and maybe we shoot at this deeper group right now. So yeah, let's shoot at that one. I think we're going to have a bit of a better angle, and it's now shooting, which is great. So it's going to, get some pretty good kills if it makes contact, and you can see it hits those guys, and it took out a model. I think it was a little like off target that hit there, but the field trebuchet here is still doing a pretty good job. What we'll end up doing once the melee starts is we're going to switch the fire onto his missiles back here. So let's go ahead and start shooting at those peasant bowmen. We're in position now. We're going to have our runes of wrath and ruin. So let's go ahead and we don't want to, they nerfed the range on it actually, guys, so it's quite a bit shorter. So we're going to move him back here. We're going to start shooting at King Lewin with our missiles here, and the Slayers we can kind of pull up here. Yeah, it looks like he might like try something. So we're going to kind of form a little bit of a shield formation there, and now we're getting some good fire on King Lewin. So that's why I really like to bring Thunders. It's pretty decent for like dealing with Bretonnian flying lords. We're taking some peasant fire, but honestly, like our armor should be able to keep us in check here. And you can see the cannon doing a very, very good job. He's probably trying to think if he wants to like land Lewin in here. A little bit of a tricky choice, I'm sure. So we're going to switch on to this guy as we did break those peasants over there. This cannon's going to continue to shoot at those cav, which is going to be a really good situation for us. And in the front, we did miss the charge a little bit, but again, it's just against like relatively low tier troops, so I'm not stressing it. So the foot squires are going to come in next, which is what we really need to deal with. So let's go ahead and check the front line. We're going to go ahead and use this, and he's coming in pretty hot with Lewin. I'm not sure where he wants to go, so we're going to kind of follow him here. We're going to mirror with these Slayers and just kind of keep doing our thing. So we're going to get charged here. He's coming in pretty aggressively, so we're going to pull the Slayers. We need to intercept these guys. So let's go ahead and use a Rune of Wrath and Ruin here. Let's get these miners going here. And we can get High King Thorgrim helping out over here because, again, he's still taking that Thunder Fire, which is going to be really nice. So we want to check. Again, with Dwarves, it's very, very important to constantly be checking for all of your runes just to be, like, as efficient as you possibly can. Want to make sure those runesmiths are fighting. Man, those questing knights are just laying the smackdown on my guys. So these miners, they need to, like, reform ranks. We need to pull our Slayers, like, back a little bit, and we need to get this cannon kind of shooting at this group over here. I think that's going to be one of our better uses. Thankfully, we're doing very, very good against King Lewin. It's a pretty pitched fight, though, to say the least. Like, he's just running all over the place. So let's pull High King Thorgrim back. Go ahead and use his leadership buff. And over here, we need to pull these miners, I think, to help out. But they did pretty good work against those Questing Knights, actually. So let's get these guys going here. We're going to pull back and just get a little bit tighter here and just keep mirroring his movements. He's trying to find an opening for sure. And High King Thorgrim can get in there and help out. And hopefully we can like sandwich these guys a little bit, do some work. So let's get those Slayers in there. And we got to check for Runes of Wrath and Ruin. Let's see how we're doing here. So we do have them. Let's go ahead and use those on the Foot Squires. Let's go ahead and use this group on another group of Foot Squires. And man, they're, oh yeah, those ones are getting healed. So that's going to be tough for us to deal with later in the game. But you really need to be efficient with the Dwarves and just use that as much as you possibly can. So he's coming in on the cannon. We're kind of slogging him down a little bit. It looks like we're finally getting, making a little bit of progress. Our cannon is continuing to shoot, but man, he got some serious heals. But Lewin's going to reach his healing cap relatively soon, I think. So unfortunately, we're kind of having to zerg around after these Questing Knights, but I think once we like secure our back line, we should be okay. And it looks like we actually broke and just like punished one of those groups. So our miners and our backline troops were able to do their job. So we're going to pull these guys back here, try and reform ranks, and let's get them shooting at these missile units right here. I was a little bit inefficient there. So we're going to keep that Runesmith fighting. We're going to get High King Thorgrim over to the front line. High King Thorgrim, as you guys like to call him. We're going to start shooting here, and let's actually pull him over here to see if he can help out. And the Slayers are relatively nearby, so let's go ahead and push here. Let's get this field trebuchet. We probably want to get him back on it firstly, and man, that crew is just still here. Those guys are just all over the place today. So yeah, let's just send Thorgrim in here, and we should have a ruin in about 9 seconds, and the Slayers are able to intercept there, so that's pretty good. So yeah, we need to get this piece back, and we do have some miners coming up as well. Balance of power, very, very even, but a lot of his missile units are routed. He should be near his healing cap, and we still do have Runes of Wrath and Ruin, which is definitely going to be helpful here. So I'm kind of like, just for micro purposes, just kind of using it on whatever I can see immediately, just to be as efficient with my time as possible. High King Thorgrim is in here. He's fighting a lot of the dudes. The Foot Squire's leadership is lower than it used to be, and we do have some miners coming in. And with the Great Book of Grudges, they're going to be much, much stronger. And thankfully, we do have these Thunders kind of poking away at Lewin, and we just have the Slayers kind of mirroring their movement. So let's go ahead and see if there's any cav or anything we can shoot at here. So he does have some Questing Knights over here. It doesn't look like there's much else going on. So I don't want to shoot into my own troops, really. So let's go ahead and shoot up at these Foot Squires. Let's pull these Slayers in, and it looks like, yeah, this is just a tooth and nail fight. It's a very, very tough matchup for the Dawi, but nonetheless, it's a very fun one. So over here, we do have some runes as well. Let's go ahead and pop those, and it looks like, yeah, we want to like bring all our troops in and like have them fight together so that they can get the benefits from like the Grumbling Guard. And we did get this piece back, so we're going to start shooting at these Peasant Bowmen, and the Thunder is shooting at Lewin here is going to be really, really nice, guys. And do I want to shoot at those cav back there? It looks like it's a field trebuchet, so maybe we just shoot at these missiles back here and just hope for the best. But he might be targeting High King Thorgrim, which is definitely a mistake. So our Thunders are shooting in here. They're getting some great damage on King Lewin, and we're going to trigger the High King soon, which means when he gets below a certain point, he buffs all his fellow Dawi, and just the fury of the ancestor is coming down on this guy right now. So let's go ahead and just kind of lay the beating on him. Hopefully we can finish him off, and it looks like we are pushing off the Bretonnian forces. So the Foul Foot Squires have been sent back to the Shadow Realm. Our cannon is back online. Our Goblobber is back online. We were able to secure the back, and it looks like we are pushing forward. So definitely a good time for the Dawi over here. And it looks like he does have some Questing Knights kind of in here in the battle still, but we just have so much left. Our Thunders are taking a bit of damage though. So let's go ahead and pull them back. Oh, and it looks like some Questing Knights coming in. So let's see if our Thunders can turn around and Last Samurai them. I think they should be able to. So we're going to keep pushing forward. Just kind of going here. We're going to get this cannon and start shooting at Lewin. If we can pop him out of the sky, that's going to be so nice. And he got so many heals this game that he's undoubtedly, very close to his healing cap. And these Thunders should be able to finish off these Questing Knights with the support of the Grumbling Guard. All 7 of them with 100 HP, man. Just the true Dawi people there. So we're pushing in. We're chasing. The cannon fire is going to start pressuring. I'm tempted to even use like a Rune of Wrath and Ruin on him just to kind of push him off the battlefield. But he's going to go and try and pick my things off. But if I can route this big blob here with just kind of my little goon squad, we should be fine. And you can see I'm able to push him off. High King Thorgrim was able to kind of, not High King Thorgrim, but it looks like King Lewin is indeed broken, which is great. So what you guys want to do in this situation is get this Goblobber online, first of all, and just have it start shooting at peasants, because it does have a leadership hit, so it's going to be able to push these guys off, and oh, the Slayers are coming in hot. They're pissed. They're going to fight Foot Squires, which isn't the best use of their resources, but still, they're going to do some good work. So let's get a Rune of Wrath and Ruin going as well. We have another Rune of Wrath and Ruin here. Well, we didn't want to use it on that, but again, sometimes when you're in the pinch, guys, you just got to click on whatever you see just to make sure you actually use it, but use it, and don't forget about it. So you can see the cannon's actually chasing Lewin off, which is great. So finally, guys, we were able to secure the back line. Our artillery pieces are firing, generating huge value, and it looks like that's all she wrote. I don't know how we could come back from this. So let's go ahead and switch this onto these Foot Squires. The leadership hit should be enough, and let's just kind of keep pushing towards this field trebuchet here. And the High King buff that I was telling you guys about earlier, let's go ahead and take a look here. So it gives 8 melee attack, charge bonus, weapon damage, and immunity to psychology to allies near him in a 250 meter radius. So when his leadership gets low, your army just gets jacked. They just become linebackers, which is so good. And you can see Lewin is shattered from that cannon fire. And yeah, that should be all she wrote. It doesn't look like there's any more threats back here. Let's get these Grumbling Guard back here defending. So most of my units probably are, they're winded and tired, but his troops are probably exhausted because, he didn't have a vigor aura. So I don't know how he's like still in this fight. I guess he still does have this this damsel with the Lore of Life who's steady, believe it or not, but her leadership's 43. And once we get back to this darn field trebuchet, which actually has 37 kills, I said it like that's a good thing, but no, that's not a lot of kills. Our cannon here has 97, and our Goblobber, do they really? Oh man, they both have 97 kills. That's kind of cool. Yeah, so anyways, let's go ahead and finish off these foot squires. We'll get these miners in here, and man, I feel like the miners were really good this game. They were just like kind of plugging up and helping against those questing knights. And when augmented by, you know, the dwarf forces, they were pretty strong. So let's go ahead and push in there. We'll put High King Thorgrim on her, and that should be enough. So let's go ahead and use a Rune of Wrath and Ruin here, and the Slayers are coming in hot. They want to end this game. They just want the attrition to be over. But these miners, look at them over here, just battling foot squires, just tooth and nail. So yeah, High King Thorgrim should be able to deal with this damsel with the Lore of Life. He hits very hard, guys. Let's go ahead and just kind of check it out here. So one contact takes her down pretty low. One more should rout her. So here he goes, and oh, he actually missed that time. So her melee defense coming through with the 22. But let's see. Yeah, there he goes. Another 400 damage. Pretty serious, and that is all she wrote. So what a great battle. So a little bit unorthodox for the Bretonnian army, but for the most part, it was like dwarf meta. What I would have liked to have seen, although the battle programs didn't perform terribly, and they kind of mucked me up a little bit, and they have good leadership, so they will stay and fight. But, I mean, honestly, another foot squire may have been more cost-effective. I actually don't mind the peasant bowman, because if the dwarf player does bring, like, you know, rangers or the raiders of Ulthar, they're a pretty good pick against him. But aside from that, you know, pretty decent army from him, and, yeah. So the miners perform well, even though their kills are low. They really mucked things up. They allowed my cannons to get back online. They chased the quest knights off. They allowed my thunders to shoot and fire. Just good stuff all the way around. And the front line, the Grumbling Guard and those guys, like you guys saw, they traded pretty efficiently with the Foot Squire front line, even with the Lore of Life. So pretty cool stuff. But anyways, well played to my opponent, Vin. I hope you guys enjoyed that Dawi BattleCast, and have an excellent night. Take care.